Hello, happy Monday. Thanks for joining me for a craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. It's the time that we can relax and craft together. All right, it's the beginning of the month, which means we have a new ABC embroidery to do. We are starting the quail, so we're already on the letter Q. We've been working on it all year, but I'm excited. We're moving right along. So we will transfer that design to our fabric and get started stitching on that tonight. So thanks again for joining me. Let's get stitching. All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for joining me. All right, let's get started by transferring our design here. So let's get it out of the case. It's October, you guys. And actually, October, that means it's also embroidery of the month. New embroidery of the month came out. So here is the one for this month. It is a granny square. This one's gonna be so cute to stitch. It reminds me of the granny square quilt we've been working on. All I need to do on that project is a quilt label, and I'm thinking maybe we do that quilt label at the end of the month during our free week this week or this month. I think that'd be awesome. All right, we got our quail, got the pattern there. I'm going to keep that nearby. The trace me pattern, I don't need that. I'm going to use the iron on pattern. And I got my little stitch guide here too. First thing, let's trim off, grab my scissors. Let's trim off the iron me text because I don't want that transferring. We can throw that away. And let's get our fabric. So I'm still using our older fabric. So this is well, starting now, you guys, all of our kits in this packaging is going to have our new fabric. So it's going to have white fabric that's pre-printed. And the pre-printing is nice. You'll be able to see the lines really well and all that. So starting out, all the new kits are and all the kits in this packaging are going to be on the white fabric. We had our sale for all our remainder kits that were on this fabric last week. And I do still have this fabric available. So this is the unbleached cotton fabric. So this will be still available unlimitedly. I have a ton of it yet. So you can still get it by the square, especially if you're using it for this project like I am. So I'm going to continue using the unbleached for this project. We'll also have it by the yard now as well. That's been a request for a little bit. So we'll have it by the yard, and we also have the new white fabric in the new kits now as a square, a 10 and a half inch square, and by the yard as well. So new yardage. We haven't sold yardage yet. So both those kits. I have two pieces here because I'm all ready for next week too. Next week we'll do the letter R. All right, so let's just move that out of the way. Okay, I'm gonna get my ironing mat. I think my iron is all set, all warm and ready to go. I am gonna put down a paper towel below my fabric just to protect my pressing surface. Since fabric is woven, it's got like teeny tiny little holes in it, and when you use an iron on, that can go through those little holes and transfer to whatever's underneath. So that's why I like having a piece of paper, like a paper towel underneath there. Otherwise, it'll transfer to your ironing surface. I mean, with mine, you're not going to really be able to see it, but I did have an ironing board that had quite a few little characters on it that you could see. All right, let's preheat the fabric. Kind of important to get it nice and warm before we start. All right, and then I'm gonna place the Iron Me pattern face down. That's why it's in reverse, because when you face it down, it is no longer in reverse. I'm gonna kind of center it on my fabric. It doesn't have to be perfect because I do have quite a bit of a border here. We're gonna stick that iron right on top. about 5 seconds. You don't want to move it too much, but you can move it a little, see if it transferred. Oh yeah, there we go. Easy peasy. All right, and we can use you can use the iron-on transfer like up to 5 times. So I always save them, so I can use it later. But there we go. We are all set. We are all ready to start stitching, you guys. So thanks again for joining me tonight. All right, let's get going. All right, so I got my hoop here. Thanks for the follows and shares, everyone. I do appreciate it a ton. Okay, I got my inner and outer hoop. Let's put the inner hoop underneath. I'm gonna kind of center it on there. And then I'm gonna undo this closure on the outer hoop, and then I'm gonna just place it right on top. Push down. There we go. It's in the hoop. It's pretty loose right now, so I'm gonna tighten up the hoop a little bit. It doesn't have to be like perfectly tight quite yet, because I'm gonna just kind of pull on the fabric a little bit, just to make sure that we don't have any like little loose bloops anywhere in the fabric. I think that looks pretty okay. So I'm gonna just continue to tighten it a little bit more. You can take this out and move it and all in the hoop, so it doesn't have to be like perfectly tight, just enough to hold. So, all right, quail, our cute little quail is the dealio for tonight. So we've been kind of veering all over the place with like colors and all that for this project. Ooh, I should show you guys what we did last week if you missed it. I got my bin. Let's grab my ABC Stitch Along bin. So this is my little frame while we like just so I can like see what things look like in the quilt. We got the rest of our letters. But this is what we did last week. We started sewing our quilt blocks. We trimmed the quilt blocks down. These are the ones that have already been quilted. And we started assembling them. So this is the quilt as you go process. We have our first row of letters assembled with the little binding strips. There is corner pieces, so we'll have, a corner, like a pretty corner on this side of the A and then this side of the C. So there'll be 5 pieces total. And then we got started on row number 2, and we actually, we have them all attached. So here's row number 2. Got the cute little giraffe, fox, elephant, and the dog. So we got the front pieces attached to these. We just don't have the back pieces are attached, but we haven't like moved them over and tucked them under and hand stitched them on yet. So none of the back pieces are hand stitched yet, but they are attached. So I thought that was a whole lot to get done last week. So that was pretty fun. Yeah, and then we have all our other letters here. The P and the O are ready to quilt up. So maybe, letter N is ready to go. Maybe if we get our project done, the quail done early this week, maybe we can stitch the 3 of these. That'd be kind of cool. And by stitch, I mean like do all the quilting on it. All right. But that's what we did last week. I think that was some big progress there. Here ultimately is how we're going to do it. So here's the ABC. There's 2 corners on the end there. We have to decide what we want to do for that yet. Ooh, gosh, it barely fits in that bin. We'll just shimmy-sham that aside. But there is opportunity to do this in different colors and stuff too. So I just want to be thinking, excuse me, thinking about that. We got some Satin Stitch, a little white Satin Stitch there. That's pretty cute. Satin Stitch little, oh my gosh, what is this thing called on a quail? I don't know. Let me know if you guys know. Whew, had to get some water. Had a little tickle in my throat. Okay, so I mean, I guess let's just start with an outline. I do like starting with the outlines on these guys because I feel like it gets things done. Or we get it looks like we get a lot done quickly. So here's our little cloud of scraps. We could do the brown like we have here. Oh yeah, look, we have a lot of that brown left. This is that teddy bear color. I'm in the mode of like, let's use up all these colors before like opening up the fresh ones. So I've kind of been in that mode, and we do have a lot of this light brown yet. So why don't we still do the outline in light brown? Then it'll have like the feel of a quail still, maybe. Or maybe, we haven't done one by the book yet. We haven't done, or in a while since like we started, haven't done one that is close to the original. So we could do that. Actually, I'm getting new floss. I wonder if we have this color in here. We have it. Ooh, there's a good piece. So, okay, so I have some of that. Ooh, it's tangled up. A little bit of this. Ooh, that's a whole full-on knot there even. A little bit of this brown in our scraps. So let's use that first. Gosh, I'm the worst at getting these knots out though. Loopy knots, I'm good to go, but like a normal just like crisscross applesauce knot, I'm way worse at getting those out. I might just clip this end so I don't have to deal with it, but out of there. Oh my god, I am. That's a lazy am right now. We're gonna just snip that away. Out of here. Stupid knot. Okay, so let's see. Is this 3 strands? Yeah, all right. We got some ready to go already for us. That's great. So any more in here? No. Okay, so awesome. We're gonna use some scraps. I'll just wind this back up, but I'm sure we'll use more. So I'm gonna have this on standby. Let's get our needle minder on here. You don't need a needle minder, but it is handy. It makes me feel like I always have a spot for my needle, and I'm not gonna like accidentally have it on the ground or something. Oh, my mom's watching. She says that this is called a head plume or a top knot. For real? They call these top knots? That's interesting. That's kind of funny. I'm gonna call it a top knot. I don't know. That seems kind of weird. I'm gonna call it a head plume. Head plume. That's kind of funny too. I wonder what the deal is with those. All right, let's thread this guy. All right, I'm gonna do that way of starting where I just leave a little bit hang out. Like I leave enough for 1 stitch and a weave in the end. I'm gonna just let that hang out. And we're gonna just start right here. So I'm leaving a stitch worth of distance there to the beak. And I'm gonna just let a little bit hang out, enough to finish that last stitch and weave in the end. This is my like lazy way of starting when I don't want to have a knot. And then I'm gonna just start a back stitch along. So we are going to just go along the edge here. So for a back stitch, you start like a little way from like a stitch length from your starting point, and you come up a stitch length away, and then you go backwards, hence the back stitch, like back along the line, and go in the exact same hole that your last stitch came out of. So coming up, down the line, and going back in that exact same stitch. Oh, Paula says a top knot as well. Dang, that seems so funny. Okay, top knot. I mean, I guess it kind of looks like a top knot. I'm gonna think about that every time I hear top knot, though. Now it's like the little quail plume. I'm not sure I've seen a quail in real life. What states are quails in? Like, what like region? Is this like a deserty sort of bird? I'm not sure. All right, you guys, what colors are we gonna do next for this? We could do actually like a really fun plume color or top knot color. That'd be a way to make it a little different. We sort of had like the real life colors going on here. So we could, like I said, we could stick to that. We haven't stuck to a design in a while. We've been kind of all over the place. Oh, do whatever we want. When I started this project at the beginning of the year, in my head, uh, I was gonna stick right to all the designs, do them as is, and, like, see how much floss it took and all that, but we veered from that real quick. I think we did the first one, the alligator, I think we did that one according to the original design, but after that, we just did whatever we wanted. And they've gotten, like, some of them have gone more out there, like the lion, for example, we have all his floofy mane that we did with turkey work stitch, and I don't know, I mean, we added wings to the pig, to the letter P that we did, last month. So, I mean, it's up for grabs. Okay, so Paula says California quails head plume or top knot. Oh, that's so funny. Looks like a single feather, but is actually a cluster of 6 overlapping feathers. Oh, yeah, and it's a desert bird. Okay, 6 overlapping feathers. Huh. I'm gonna have to Google that and see how close it is. Oh, Acorn says California state bird is a quail. Oh, that's cool. Oh, California quail. Okay, so like I'm just like shortening it, like so it's really like truly a California quail. Oh, that's so fun. California has lots of fun birds. Oh, Tiny Turtle Time says I love quails. They're just so sweet, and then they have, like, all their little babies running after them. Maybe that's what we could do. Maybe we just stitch this however. We can decide if we wanna add more colors or have it be, like, more normal like that, but what if we draw, like, a bunch of little babies here? We could have, like, 2 babies behind, we'd have to figure out how to draw those, like, we would do, like, how we did the quail or the pig, where on a separate piece of paper, we kind of drew different wings we could put on him, and then once we had wings that we liked, we traced it onto the pig. We could do that with this, like, we could just sketch out and doodle a few little baby quails, um, and once we have ones that we like, we could trace them on here. That might be a fun way of, like, you know, doing something fun. Although, whenever I add something like that, the embroidery takes longer, right? So we might not have time to actually, do, the quilting on this if we don't have an extra day, but who cares? I think a little baby birds behind him would be kinda cute. Little cute little birdies. What kind of, I wonder, I'm gonna have to Google, uh, California quails. I'm curious, like, what they sound like. Can I get one more stitch out of here? I feel like I'm kinda ugh. Okay, yeah. Like I'm getting close there. Oh, this is a good place to stop because, well, I'm out of thread, but, like, this wing is the same color, so this is a great place to stop because I can do this wing starting from here, and then just jump and get the rest of this. That'll be good. Look how pretty on the back. I should, the back of a, backstitch almost looks like a stem stitch. I should try doing a stem stitch on the as our outline one of these times. It's not my normal go-to. It's very traditionally the go-to though, like stem stitch for outlining. I think traditionally it's even called the outline stitch. But I don't know. I always like the I'll put a little garbage here. I always like using a back stitch for outlines. I just feel like it's very exact. All right, let's get this little end that we left out here at the beginning. It's very exact and it gives that like little beaded look, like where you can see each stitch, and that just kind of feels super embroidery-ish to me. I just like it. But yeah, just all right, we're gonna finish that stitch and weave in this end. Just I think the accuracy you can get um with the back stitch is nice. Like for example, like with a stem stitch or a split stitch or any of those, or even a chain stitch, all those have like funny issues around curves and around corners, like just corners where they just aren't quite as clean and accurate as a back stitch. So I always default to the back stitch. So like my little strawberry here, so cute. We did get more of these strawberries in, you guys. So we have the pink one like this, and then we have the red one that's this color, and then the white one still. We got more of all of those recently. I just love them. It's so nice to just grab our tray and go. All right, I need more of this brown. This is our light brown. This is the teddy bear color. Ooh, a tiny turtle time says, and they sound really cute too. Ooh, I'm gonna have to Google it. I love like listening to birds. So relaxing. Boop. Do any of you guys follow what is his name? On TikTok. I think his I think his handle is Ranger Keith. There might be another word in there. Um, but I think it's Ranger Keith on TikTok. And I just love his videos. I'm not sure I've seen one in a while, but like he goes off into the woods and just like whispers to you like, "Oh, do some work, some bird listening, bird watching," and you know, and and then you'll hear the birds in the background, and he'll be like, "Hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. Oh, that's the like Tennessee like titmouse or something." You know what I mean? Like he'll like tell you what birds we're hearing, but like I just love how he's like says like the funny words to make us remember like the hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. Like makes me laugh. That's how I think of when I hear the birds by us and stuff. That's like what I think of too, like little words that they sound like little phrases at different calls. Oh my gosh, I thought I lost my needle, but back there I said earlier how I like the needle minder because I don't lose my needle, but just had a little mini panic, but I forgot that I threw it on the back. Okay, I pulled the 3 threads out of here. I'm stitching with 3 strands. Um, embroidery floss typically comes with 6 strands. That makes a really thick line. That can actually be kind of difficult to stitch because it's so fat. It's a lot to pull through the fabric. So I like separating it into 3 strands. Some people separate it into 2. You can do all different. It changes the fatness of your stitch. And I've been using 3 consistently through this project. So the thicknesses will be pretty consistent. All right, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to let the little end hang out here um, with enough to finish this stitch and a weave in the end. I think that's good there. Typically, I would just weave in the backs of the stitches. Like now that I have stitches on here, I would weave in the backs of these stitches and just continue. But I was saying earlier how like, ooh, I have this wing here. I can just like continue that and then jump up. So I'm veering in that. And there's nothing to weave in this area, so we're gonna do it this way again. Oh, is that the seed stitch on his belly? It is, Cassie. So seed stitch to me is just a bunch of single tiny straight stitches. Um, so that's what I call the seed stitch. Mechanically, a seed stitch is used sometimes underneath a satin stitch. And you know what? Maybe we'll do that. Maybe let's do some seed stitches underneath our satin stitch. And what that does is beef up the satin stitch. So the satin stitch is more raised off the surface. You're basically making a padding underneath your satin stitch. So it just like lifts it up a little bit more. That might be kind of fun to try on just like these little bits. Or maybe on the plume or on the top knot, maybe we put a bunch of seed stitches just in this part, and then that part will feel like poofier than the rest, maybe? That would be kind of fun. I just like using steed stitches to be like to make like fur. And in this case, like little suggestions of feathers, I suppose. But I think traditionally it's used as like a mechanical purpose, meaning like to physically put some padding underneath satin stitch sometimes. Usually ends up as fur for me. We did do a satin stitch test at one point, and we tried like a whole pile of different things just to see differences in satin stitch. So we did it with like the 3 strands. We did it with a single strand, so it was super nice and satiny. And then we did some padding. So we did one where we put a bunch of where we put seed stitch underneath. And to pad it too, you can add like a backstitch around and then go over the top of the backstitch and have that seed stitch. I think maybe I'll just do the seed stitch in the middle because then it'll be more domed, I think. So we did that test and it did add some poof to it for sure, which is kind of fun. I mean, subtle still, but like you could still tell a difference. And then there's like I don't know, like a super duper satin like poofy satin stitch, which I've never tried before, but you can actually put extra fabric on there. Like you're actually sewing fabric down first and then like going from the back or for the front still and actually stuffing it. So you're actually making a physical pad out of different fabric on top of the fabric. So you're almost making like a poofy pad that you're appliquing on, and then you satin stitch on top of that. So you got like some real poof. Then I have not tried that before, just because it seems like so much work. Um, but I bet you it looks really cool in some scenarios. So it'd be worth trying sometime. I mean, think of all the dimension you can have like that. Like if you're thinking like a cicada or something, you'd have like that big poof like for a beetle in the middle. Or I think I've seen it with like a bunny rabbit in a book before, where the bunny rabbit was all poofy and that's kind of fun. I've also seen people cut out felt. So like they'd applique on a little felt piece and then stitch satin stitch over that. That would add a ton of poof too. Might be easier to try sometime. All right, see, I gotta just jump up here and continue the line. I definitely don't think we'll have enough to finish the outline yet, though. I'll have to get some more. I think we have the other half. Oh yeah, I do have the other half of that. So that's worked out perfectly. I had that. I already had a strand or like a 3 strands sitting in the junk pile, in the discard pile, or the little cloud cloud of floss. That's kind of what we're calling it. My excess stuff from other animals here. So we use that, and then just like cut one thing of the 6 strands, divided it up. So we had 2 sets of 3, and that will be enough for us here. I don't have confidence that I win red chicken just with it that I have now. I'll probably only have like a couple strands left over, or a couple stitches, I mean, left over, but I do still like the idea of like drawing a couple little babies. Oh man, you guys have daylight savings going on now. Gosh, when is that for us? Ugh, I'm gonna have to look that up because that always makes our timing pretty weird here. Yeah, especially when like some people have daylight savings and some don't, and ugh, it's always annoying to have to deal with that. Oh, you guys, we worked on the garden this weekend. It was like it got warm out again. It was just beautiful and still. So we got to have like a fire to the fire pit. But we're just basically cleaning up the garden because it's gonna be winter. We can't have no winter garden up north here, so all those fancy southern people who can have winter gardens. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so we just cleaned out a garden and we had some extra like brick laying around, so we made a little path in the garden, and then just some cleanup. A few more stitches left. That's a bummer. Oh well. So I have to get a new piece of floss, whatever. But I think we're gonna try doing. Oh God, what is it called? Like hugel culture. Does that sound right? I think hugel culture. Uh, That's where you, like, do gardening, like, you dig a big hole in the ground, so we're doing this with one of our garden beds. That's sort of like nothing's going on with it. Where we're digging out, like, a big honking hole, the length of the raised garden. I mean, it's not really raised, it's not raised. We have, like, some 2 by 4s around it, but that's, I guess, not really raised. But yeah, so we're digging a hole, and we had like a tree rotting, so they cut that down years ago, and we still have all the wood from it. We've been trying to burn it in the like for fire pits and stuff, but we still have a ton. But anyway, so you dig a hole, and then you put in like giant logs, and then you put so you got like a mound of like log, and then which we have a lot of, and then you like fill it with like smaller sticks and stuff, and then you put like sod over or whatever, like compost, whatever, not compost, uh, what do you call like leaves and little wood chips, mulch. So you put like mulch over, and then you put like dirt on top, and then like compost and stuff, and then you plant. So you end up with like this big, like cylindrical dome, basically, and then you can plant like up it, like in tiers, and it basically makes it's like self-composting because it's composting the mulch, and then it's composting, the branches and then the log and all that. So we're gonna just give that a try. Oh my gosh, you guys, I might not need that extra piece of floss. I think I can get this in 2 more stitches. Okay, we totally kicked butt on thread chicken. Oh my god, that's awesome. But anyway, so we started digging a hole to try and do the hugel culture. um, but that's gonna be a next weekend project too, I think. All right, let's weave in this end. But it's kind of exciting. It'll be fun to try. I don't know what we'll plant on it yet, and I think we'll wait to do like the dirt and compost and all that till spring probably. But we'll get like we got a bunch of bark from that tree too, so we'll do like big logs and then fill in all the gaps with bark, and we'll probably let that be over the winter, and then in the spring, um, put like the mulch and the dirt and all that. Or we're saving like the dirt from the hole that we're digging out and all that. Anyway, it'll be a new way of gardening for us, which will be kind of fun, and we'll be using up all these logs that we have, and we're gonna just try this fun dome thing, and why not? Grab our needle. Oh, forgot about this. We got our little bit left here. Let me know if any of you have heard that before. I think it's like it's German. It sounds, or I mean, it looks German, the word, but I think hugelkultur, I think is. Oh man, look at I got a whole pile of knots in here. Dang it, I missed that. Oh, that's annoying. All right, I'm gonna try and catch this whole thing as I weave in the end. But all right. Huh. Missed that. There, I'm just trying to like tack it down a little bit so it doesn't like pull through to the front, like none of my stitches get loose or anything like that. So fine, good. It'll get covered up more because when I stitch the little seed stitch in, I can weave in the ends there and capture more of this. Usually I have my hand on the back while I stitch, so like while I'm stitching, I can like feel the stitches, but that's just like so far away from my hand to reach. So I don't think I was doing that, and I missed that. If my hand was here, like feeling all the stitches as I stitch, I probably would have caught that. All right, we're getting it. See, that's why I like doing the backstitch first, because it just feels like we get a lot done right away by doing the outline. I think why don't we work on? Well, I mean, we could finish all the rest of the back stitches. So we could do the beak and the eyes and the little legs yet tonight. That'd be kind of cool. Um, then we'd have all the back stitching done, and then maybe tomorrow we can like quickly do the seed stitch. I don't think that'll take long at all. And then we can really focus on this satin stitch. And I do want to try like that padded satin stitch with putting seed stitches underneath. So that'd be fun. It could be a whole day of like seed and satin stitch tomorrow. So we'll start with the seed stitches, then we'll just add a whole bunch in here. And then like we'll do this part first maybe, and then like see how poofy it gets. And I still like the idea on the plume to for the top knot to like just fill in this area with seed stitch, so that area is like poofier than the rest. That'll be interesting to see if we can tell a difference. So yeah, so tonight let's just finish up the rest of it. So let's see, what color should his beak be? We got these for oranges yet. I think the original was probably this color orange, but we hardly have any left of that. I'm gonna probably just use what we have the most of. Looks like, I don't know, that's maybe too close to this. I want a little orangier. Maybe we should just end up doing it this bright. What do we have in here? We do have some of this. Maybe that orange is fine. I think red would be kind of cute too. Yeah, let's just use something I have. So, oh, maybe we'll just use the same color for his belly then too. So this is a little lighter than the original. Like the original is kind of bright, but I don't know, it's kind of sweet with the slightly pinkier one. And I have more of it, so we'll save this for when we need like a teeny bit somewhere. All right, let's do that. So I'm going to use this piece to do the beak. I'm sure we'll have enough that we can save later for his belly. These strands, yep, good to go. Okay, so now I'm going to weave in my end to the backs of stitches that are already there. I'm not going to start with that like little bit of thread hanging out. I'm just going to weave the backs of stitches that already. And again, I'm doing this so I don't have any knots on the back. I don't like knots because my thread always catches on them, and I hate when that little thread end pokes out to the front after like tying a knot. All right, I'm down here. Let's start right. Yes, yeah. I'll go around, and then we'll hop back up to that center line. I'm just thinking of Ranger keeps going hamburger, hamburger, hamburger. This is a sweet little pretty orange color. This is the Euro Peach color. Ooh, you guys, we are still having our live special. So if you order $20 or more from the shop, I will throw in a free mystery gift for you while we're live here, or like 15 minutes or so after. You don't need to put it in your cart or anything. I will just add one. I'll look at the time order. So still doing that, and then all our kits now have, or all our new kits, all of our kits with the white boxes, all those have our new fabric in now, our white fabric with the little darker lines on it. Not really too. I can have different size stitches as I go. That's right. So let's get this little center line. Smile. Do to get right in. Right, there we are. That's done. Let's weave in our end, and then we'll get, I think, the eyes. Oh, and we have this little leg. Supposed to do that. Supposed to be this black, original one. We got a lot of black yet. Really been only using the black for the eyes, so maybe we'll stick to these colors for this quail. Okay, what did I just say? Oh, the eyes. Do we have any black left? Yes, we do. Oh, God. Maybe enough for an eye. Let's just use it. Single strand. Yep, he can. Actually, we'll probably use this later because for the satin stitch, if we do this this plume in satin stitch, we will probably use just 2 strands because then we can use that railroad method where we make the strands lay perfectly straight next to each other by like going in between them. That'll make sense when we work on it, but we'll be just using 2 strands at a time. So maybe I can like either use the loop method and change this 1 strand into 2, or we can group it with like we can cut all our strands that length. Ooh, and I'm good. Oh, I'm like I have a black strand like attached to me, but it's not. It's my button is apparently unwinding, so I'll have to deal with that. Ugh, gosh. Okay, and I'm gonna have to get more floss because this is not gonna make 2 eyes, I think. So I'm gonna do that thing where I have the eyes be freestanding, even though like I could probably just weave in and jump there, but well, let's do this eye first then. So I'm gonna do the thing where I leave like a stitch length out again. Oh gosh, this is hardly any floss, so we'll see if we have enough. This is what I was doing earlier, and now I'm gonna just do a back stitch around the eyes. Oh my god, this is barely any thread. Okay, hopefully I have enough. I'm just using this scrap piece. Hopefully I have enough to even like stitch this eye. So I like for these little tiny circles, I like doing like a hexagon shape. So I do like 6 stitches, another really little, but I think that hexagon gives like a good appearance of a circle versus like a diamond. That just looks like a diamond, I think, but hexagon has the appearance of a circle. One more out of here. And then that other strand will be our last stitch. Yeah, okay. Tiny. Okay, there we are. We have 1 stitch left to do with this, but I'm going to weave this in. Oh, Rosemary says, love doing hand embroidery, have done it since before my teens. FIM 66. Nice. I find it so relaxing. I've been wanting to do cross stitch lately. I've done cross stitch like when I was little, but I haven't done it in a while, and um I'm like itching to give it a try again here soon. And I know a lot of people like start in the needle craft world with cross stitch, but it's a completely, if you haven't done cross stitch, it's a completely different vibe than embroidery. I mean, you're using similar materials basically, and the fabric might be a little bit different, but I love embroidery, especially these little easy ones like this, because you can get things done so fast. Whereas cross stitch, like if we did, like this is gonna take us like 3 days, 4 days, which is, hours. So this is gonna take 3, 4 hours tops. I mean, look, we're practically done, right? If we just did these outlines, we could have this whole thing done in another hour. Um, but like if we were to do something this size, so what? This is like maybe let's call it like 3 inches by 5 inches. If we did something that size as cross stitch, I said this would take us like 4 hours. I think it would take us 40 plus hours to do the same thing here, like but filled in with cross stitch. It's crazy how long cross stitch takes, and it doesn't seem like it would, but then you start going and it's been an hour and you've done like 40 stitches or whatever. Like you've done a little line that's this big. And it's just like, whoa, okay, yeah. So I like both for different reasons. I think embroidery, you get those nice quick wins. I mean, embroidery can take a long time too if you're filling in a big space. But I think cross stitch is more like you're gonna chill and work on this project for a long time. So to me, it's more like knitting or crochet when I'm just I'm gonna just chill for a little bit. I would not want to do a cross stitch with a a timeline involved. Rosemary says not a fan of cross stitch. I have not done it in a long time. But yeah, if you're looking for the embroidery vibe, that's different than cross stitch. That's for sure. All right, we got one eye done. I need some more thread. Let's just grab. I guess I'll use, just in case I end up using some of this for the satin stitch, which would be, oh yeah, which actually makes sense because I'll be using 3 strands now, and then I'd be left with 3. But if I add this one, then I got 4, and then I have enough for. I'm using 2 strands for the satin stitch. Gosh, this isn't very long though, is it? Oh well, we're gonna do that long. So I have some. I can join up with that first strand. Actually, let's use that single strand right now. Already got it. There we go. Okay, and I need 2 more strands. Pop the top here, separate the strands, and there we go. So just like grabbing one. Oops, pulling it out. Back. There we go. We got our 3. And there should be 4 left on the other one since we've only pulled 2 because we used an extra strand. Use those 4 for tomorrow. Okay, the eye. Oh, actually, we were gonna do the legs too. I might need more for the leg. We'll see. If that's the case, I'll just get more. And you know what? I think I am gonna just jump. I'm gonna just weave in the end here, and then jump over to that other eye. Trim that, but extra. Go. All right, now let's do our little. We'll weave the end into the eye like we did the other one. Trim it. Thanks again for your follows and shares, everyone. We appreciate it. This is like the closest we've done to the original design in a long time in this project. It feels funny. using the similar colors that are actually in the design. Suppose we changed that orange, but still. All right, another little eye. And boop. So I guess let's just jump on down and do the legs. I'm kind of thinking, so no, normally I would weave in these, on the backs of these stitches and then like do the leg, but then I'm going to end up down here and I don't want to jump that way. So I might do the, where I just leave a little bit out and then go up here, here, jump over here, and then come back down here, and maybe I'll have enough to do that with this thread. Let's see. So I'm gonna just leave out one of these toes. That'll be the last stitch I do. So again, I'm gonna just like let a little piece dangle enough to do that stitch and weave in the end. Plenty like that. So we'll get these other toes in. Up the leg. But dang, I feel like we got a ton done today. We'll be on for like another I don't know, 8 minutes or so here. And dang, getting these outlines done, like, feels like we have a whole thing happening here. All right, I'm gonna just kind of tuck under a stitch or two here while we travel to the next part. Genesis cross stitch is a marathon and embroidery is a 5K. There we go. I like that. Yeah, that seems about right. Because embroidery still ain't fast. It's not like a one. I mean, it can be a one sitting thing, but it's still a couple hours. So yeah, a 5K. Ooh, Sheila says just order the new white fabric squares. Awesome. I think it's gonna be. I think you're gonna like using it. It's. They're gonna be nice in the kits. So our new kit, the Granny Square, which is our embroidery of the month. I got that here again. We'll be stitching this not next week, but the week after. This will be on our new white fabric. So you can kind of see it tucked in there with a little design on there. So this will be the first one we stitch live with the new fabric. That'll be fun. Oh, we have plenty of thread here. That makes me happy. Little legs. Oh, that's sweet, Lynn. Lynn says my last couple of weeks, including this one, have been crazy busy. This is such a nice way to wind down and relax before going to bed. That's so nice to hear. I hope it cools down for you soon. Those little legs from the back, they're just like floating in space. All right, we got a little bit there yet. This will be enough to do the eyes of another animal. In a little bin. Okay, and then let's get the last little toe. And I think we'll probably call it an evening then. Maybe I'll thread the needle and get it ready for these seed stitches. That's always kind of fun to like have our needle all ready to go for the next day. Feels like you get to start right in it right away. Which we got a couple more minutes, I think. So for anyone new, I'm here every weeknight at 8:30 p.m. Central Time, and we stitch and make stuff for about an hour every evening. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was gonna thread. I think we're just gonna stick to this, I guess. So I'm gonna do like orange for his belly. So I think I'll do the orange first of the seed stitch because then when we do the white for like his little wing here, we can just go right in and start the white of his little marking here. Arlene says, when will I meet my new nephew? I don't know. We have to plan. We're trying to figure that out here soon. I think my parents are gonna visit this weekend, and um, my sister-in-law's mom is there right now, so they got some family there. But yeah, we're gonna have to drive down there soon here too. I don't know. Maybe we'll go over the weekend too. Don't know. Oh, am I out of white? Oh wait, I wasn't doing white. I was doing the orange. But on another note, I think I am out of the white because so I got to start a whole new skein. That'll be the first new skein that we start. We've been just working off of just what we have here, so this isn't a very long piece. So that's not going to get us the whole way. Here's another one. Okay, that's a little longer. I'll do that one first. But I'll have this guy on standby because we'll probably need both. Okay, I'm going to get him started here. We've been seeing more pictures though, and he's a cutie. Cutie new baby. All right, so I'm gonna just weave in the end, like right here, and we'll just start over here, I guess. That's good as good place as any, I think. Bit of a drive, but definitely, definitely can get there one day. All right, so I'm gonna just come up at the start of our first stitch here, and I think we'll call it there. So we're all ready, all set to go for tomorrow. Like I said, we'll do all the seed stitch. Dang, we're gonna like finish him tomorrow, except for the letters. Um, Maybe satin stitch takes a while, but I don't know. We'll see. So we'll do seed stitch for his belly in the orange, and then the seed stitch for the wing is white. And then we're gonna do where we make a padded satin stitch, where we put a bunch of seed stitches within the space that we're gonna satin stitch, and then we're gonna satin stitch over the top. So it'll make a little like raised satin stitch because we got like that padding from the seed stitches. I think that's like traditionally what seed stitches are used for. I just like using it as like fur and little speckles like this. And then we'll do the same for his top knot here. I think we can do all that tomorrow. I think that's gonna go speedy. So awesome. So that is it for the evening here. So I'm very happy with our start on there. I mean, that's like what I say with the backstitch. If you can get that outline done, dang, it feels like you got a lot done right away. I do like that. I do like feeling like we got a whole pile done. That's what you don't get in cross stitch. You don't get that feeling, that's for sure. But awesome. So thank you guys again. I really enjoy seeing you again after the weekend. I will leave our live special open for another 15 minutes or so, and that's order $20 in the shop, and I will throw in a free mystery gift. You don't have to add it to your cart or anything. I will just check the timestamp on it and throw it in. So awesome. I will see you guys tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Have a lovely evening. Good night.